the first three picks.
First three
20-year-old,
picks
20-year-old,
perfect,
20-year-old, athletic, big, strong, tough, fast, ready to start. So it was so jarring that I think in the moment I even overreacted a little bit to it. Where I'm glad we did the pod today instead of yesterday, because it's like, all right, let's breathe and talk about the guys that really matter from this class.
I think bigger picture, and this could be right or wrong, there's 3 months to go. The Jets can and will probably do a couple minor veteran moves, signings, trades, whatever. My guess is internally, compared to us and others, they like guys like Derek Nandi and Bryant Cowart more than we do. I know Cowart, I think, spent time with a defensive line coach.
That's a choice.
And they're look, these guys next to Quinnen, and
right.
If Leonard Taylor takes the leap, we think he can.
Playing in scheme.
Yeah, those are going to be our next 3 guys around Quinnen, and we're going to be just fine. And maybe we're going to get someone in the summer who could also chew up some reps and be like the late Al Wood signing that we always talk about. Now, that might be wrong. I would argue it's wrong. They also have Talefe in the mix and a couple other guys, but these guys are all backups. They didn't sign any other starters. They're rotational players. At receiver, I think they're going to be the most run-heavy team in the NFL. My guess, and people might laugh at this, but if you really look at it, this isn't that crazy. Josh Reynolds had a really weird life year last year. 2 years ago, Josh Reynolds was like a key part of a team that should have went to the Super Bowl. Now he had
made some big plays,
had a killer drop in the NFC Championship game, but was like a 60 catch guy who was playing every snap on a team that was literally a quarter away from going to the Super Bowl, and put together like 2 to 3 good years for Sean McVay, like hopping in whenever someone got hurt. Like he is probably a little better than he gets credit for. And I bet you Tanner Angstrom, who had him as the passing game coordinator, is probably like, in this offense, yeah, this guy could be our number 2 receiver for now. And yes, they still have Lazard around, where if Rodgers decides to come back, you could trade him to Pittsburgh for a 7th round pick and whatever. Everyone goes their separate ways. And if he doesn't, Glenn probably saw him with Rodgers a ton a few years ago and was like, look, this guy could play 20 snaps a game and block. And that's it. Now, do I agree with that? No, but they're probably internally like, between Lazard and Reynolds, we can get 75 catches for 700 yards and 2 smart guys who aren't going to go off sides and line up in the wrong place, although Lazard does that all the time, and will block down the field. And again, I'm not agreeing with it, but that's probably what they're thinking.